our team, our community. This is Condors Town, and this is another Energy Condors connection. Now, here's Erik Fox and Ryan Holt.
What's up, B-Town? I was kind of thinking I would be talking to him in a hotel room, but nope, he's over on Truxton, at least for the time being. I'm Erik Fox, by the way, from Energy 95.3, the guy on the other side of the screen. My brother from another mother, Ryan Holt, from your Bakersfield Condors broadcast team. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good. How's everything over there?
Not too bad on the north side of town. You know, a little chilly, but enjoying probably a little warmer than what you just had in Michigan.
Yeah.
But, well, of course, we'll talk about that in a moment. We just talk about the main organization first, the Oilers, and some big news. I actually just found out. Brad Malone, our captain, dear captain, has gone to fight for the Oilers of Edmonton. He's going to be playing in Philly tonight. How awesome is that?
Yeah, his 200th NHL game, his last one came in 2019, and he just talked to the media. In Edmonton, they're in Philadelphia tonight, but he was kind of talking about how, he didn't want to just roll over and die here in Bakersfield, just in the sense of, he didn't want to just be a guy who, was in Bakersfield to help other players. And, he himself was getting better as, other players were getting better. And, he leads by example. He shows up and does it right every day. He's a good friend of a lot of, people here in Bakersfield. He's a good friend of mine as well. So, this is a deserving call up. Obviously there's injuries up in Edmonton. That's the reason why he's called up. But that being said, he provides a type of game that the Oilers could use. He skates well. He's a great forechecker. He's physical. He can play that fourth line kind of role. He can kill penalties. So I think he's going to slot in nicely. Jay and Dave obviously know him from Bakersfield, and there's a reason why he wears the C. Here in Bakersfield. So we'll miss him, certainly for the time he's up in Edmonton and however long that may be. But, for the time being, that's a really cool story. We're excited. We'll be on the bus watching him as we head up to San Jose.
We talked about in the last episode with just how it is. It's kind of nice that people are coming up from Bakersfield to Edmonton. I mean, hey, this coach looks familiar. How much is that really helpful as that transition happens from the AHL to the NHL?
Well, it's huge. I think, Jay and Dave obviously understand, who Brad is, and there's no, how are we going to fit you in? And I think one thing that Jay has done, and he did it in Bakersfield, and he's done it in Edmonton now, he'll reward guys who are playing well. And that's, there's no, how much you making, what's your contract status, what type of contract are you on? If you're playing well, you're going to play. And I think Brad can go up and, yeah, is he going to play on the fourth line? Yeah, he's going to play on the fourth line. He's not making any qualms about, who he is at the NHL level.
Right.
But, that's a valuable member of a team, a guy who can go out and play 10 minutes tonight and give you an effective 10 minutes and be able to kill penalties and be able to, impact the game in other ways, and if you chip in with offense, all the better. But, they have offensive guys. Brad knows what type of role he is on that team. Here in Bakersfield, he is tremendous, and he's having a tremendous season. He's a point-per-game player. He's a completely different role in Bakersfield, I guess, if you will, than what he is in Edmonton. But that being said, he can play that role, and, look forward to watching him tonight.
Definitely a utility player in many, many ways, so it's exciting to see him up there. Let's talk about the team where, wasn't that long ago where really weren't seeing them in a wild card position, but that's where Edmonton is. They've leapfrogged up there. How are things looking up there? I know it was a rough loss against Carolina, but they're playing Philly tonight. What are you seeing up there?
Yeah, I think even their bad losses, their losses, I guess, aren't bad losses. They're, playing hard. They're competing. They had a big win in Florida the other night. They went toe-to-toe with Tampa. That's a tough three-game swing when you have the three top teams in the league, maybe three of the five top teams in the league. And you play them in 5 days. So, it was a good game against Carolina. They just came up on the short end of it. And I think, now they have Philly and Chicago. These are two games that, you got to put in your back pocket and head on home with 4 points, I think. So they're right in the thick of things. The Kings got blown out last night by Boston. So, we'll see what happens here tonight. But definitely a big opportunity here for the final two games of the road trip before they head home to take on Montreal, who, again, should be in your back pocket, but you have to go out and win the games.
Speaking of road trips, let's go and jump on down to AHL, where obviously that's where exactly the team is right now. Had a trip up to San Jose, and then on the big metal tube with wings out to Michigan to go to Grand Rapids. Split the series out there. What were we seeing out there?
Yeah, we got 5 out of a possible 6 points last week, which is terrific. I think the little sour taste in our mouths, kind of got a little greedy there in the third period against Grand Rapids. Dylan Holloway scored a great goal. Seth Griffith scored on the power play. And, we came back and we're down 2-0, had a 3-2 lead all of a sudden with, 2 minutes left, took a penalty. They ended up scoring on it, and then they won the shootout. So little sour taste, but I don't think there was any hanging of the heads after the game on Saturday. That's a very good road trip. That was a desperate Grand Rapids team. Good weekend for the team overall. I think you're seeing some positive signs out of some other players that we haven't heard from in a little bit. Dylan Holloway had a nice week. First-round draft pick, scored a highlight reel goal on Saturday to help us on the comeback. Seth Griffith has, continued his strong play. He's in the top 4 in league standings, for points-wise. So, this is going to be a dogfight down the finish. The Condors are holding on to that third spot, tooth and nail here down the stretch. So, Colorado barking at them. Henderson's barking at them. Abbotsford's starting to come on here. So, again, much like the Oilers, Condors have San Jose Wednesday night, Tucson at home on Saturday. You've got the 2 games against Ontario and Stockton wedged in between, who you're going to see a little bit here over the next couple of weeks. But, the games against San Jose, the games against Stockton, or the games against Tucson, you got to put in your back pocket because, everything else is kind of Ontario and Stockton seem to be beating everybody. So it's what you do against everybody else that kind of defines, where you're going to end up, when the horn sounds at the end of April.
Let's talk about the next 2 games because it is opposite side of the spectrum. Wednesday night, you guys are in San Jose. Friday night at Stockton. Obviously, one team is performing different than the other one, but you still got to prepare the same way, right?
Absolutely. And, I think, to be honest with you, there's no such thing as an easy win in this league. And we saw that even with a 6-3 win over San Jose last Wednesday was, San Jose kept coming at the Condors and kept coming back. And, when you have really nothing to play for, and San Jose is mildly in the playoff race for the final spot in the Pacific, when you have nothing to play for, you can kind of play loose, and it doesn't really matter what happens, I guess. And a lot of guys at that point are trying to play for contracts and points, and they'll cheat a little bit. So, you have to be responsible defensively because San Jose will go up and down the ice with you, and all of a sudden it turns into a, last shot wins type of game. But yeah, 2 teams opposite end of the spectrum. Stockton has been the class of the league the entire season. I think, they're probably the team that goes on and gets the top spot. But, now you look at it and the Condors are within 10 points and a couple of games in hand on Ontario. And you start thinking, hey, with a little bit of a push here down the stretch, you might be able to slide into that second spot. So it's going to be a fun couple of weeks.
And, of course, coming up on Saturday night I'm looking forward to because the Condors are turned into some rebel scum, said affectionately, as they are taking on Tucson. But it is Star Wars night. Yes!
Yeah.
Finally get the sabers out.
I'll throw a haymaker right back at you. I have never seen a Star Wars movie. Front to back, I've never seen one. Like start to finish. Now that's not to say I don't know characters, plot line, storyline, kind of, the basic gist. But you start throwing Tatooine at me and I start, ducking on the other side. But, I get it. It's great to see the kids. We went back and looked at a lot of the videos from the last couple of years for our Star Wars night. And, kids have a great time. I love seeing all the mini Darth Vaders running around. And we'll have an R2-D2 here. Darth Vader's here. Kylo Ren's here. Stormtroopers, Sand Troopers. Husk invaders, whatever. Tuscan. They're here
Raiders.
Too. Yeah, Tuscan Raiders. That's it. Yeah, they'll be here too. We've got special.
I think you just redeemed yourself. Congratulations, you just redeemed yourself a little bit here.
Obi-Wan's on the front. We have some Star Wars fans down in the dressing room too. Luke Esposito's dog is actually named Obi after ObiWan Kenobi. So Obi-Wan's on the front, and we've got the Jedi Creed on the back of the jerseys with Bakersfield Condors kind of written in Jedi language. Tatooine language. I don't something like that.
I'm not that deep into it, but I get to that point.
But the jerseys are cool. They go for a great cause. They'll go to our foundation, which benefits multiple charities here in Bakersfield throughout the course of the year. So we'll auction off 5 live in the building that you have to be there for, and then the rest will go on our app after the game or at the game, and then following up the following week. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Star Wars Night's always fun, and cool to see all the characters and all the kids dressed up.
Well, I'll definitely be getting my raffle tickets for it, and anyone who wants to go, obviously go check out all that action out there at the game on Saturday. What do they need to do?
Yeah, BakersfieldCondors.com. We've got the Star Wars pack on sale now, which is $95. It's 4 tickets, and you get a picture with the entire Star Wars crew pregame. You'll be able to get pictures throughout the night with Star Wars crew, but you're not going to be able to get them all together. That's going to be impossible. So if you want to guarantee you get a picture with the entire crew, it's pretty cool. We'll have 20 to 25 characters here from the movies. We do it pretty big here in Condors Town. So
that's how we do it.
Yeah, March is off and running. We're excited. We've got a full slate of home games coming up in March, and then roll into April and wrap this thing up and hopefully get a good spot in the playoffs coming up.
Well, may the force be with the Condors as we head into Star Wars night, and of course 2 games on the road. See, I'm not believing you. I think you probably have like a rebel tattoo somewhere.
Star Wars night.
Fair enough. I'll let you be in that regard. Once again, Ryan Holt from the Bakersfield Condors. My name is Erik Fox from Energy 95.3. We'll be back again next week as we talk about, of course, more wins because, it's the Condors. And a whole lot more right here with the Energy Condors Connection with Energy 95.3 and your Bakersfield Condors. See you next time.